The Whispering Forest. In a quiet village nestled between rolling hills and gentle streams, there lived a girl named Lily. She had bright eyes, the color of emeralds, and a smile that could light up even the gloomiest day. Lily loved to wander through the meadows, chasing butterflies and picking wildflowers of every hue. One golden evening, as the sun began to dip below the horizon, she noticed a path she'd never seen before. It was lined with shimmering stones that seemed to glow softly, even as the daylight faded. Curious and intrigued, Lily decided to follow the mysterious path. As she walked deeper into the woods, she felt a gentle breeze that carried a faint melody, like the soft tinkling of bells. The trees whispered secrets, and the leaves rustled with what sounded like distant laughter. Fireflies began to dance around her, their tiny lights twinkling like stars brought down to earth. Soon she arrived at a clearing where the trees stood tall and proud, their branches intertwining to form a natural archway overhead. In the center of the clearing stood a magnificent oak tree, its trunk wide enough to hide a small house. Its roots stretched out like welcoming arms, and its leaves shimmered with a silvery glow. Lily approached the oak, and to her astonishment, a small door with intricate carvings appeared at its base. She hesitated for a moment, her heart fluttering with a mix of excitement and nervousness. But her curiosity soon overcame her hesitation. She reached out, turned the delicate handle, and stepped inside. Inside the oak tree, the air was filled with tiny lights that danced around like a swarm of golden butterflies. The walls were lined with shelves holding jars of stardust and bottles of moonlight. "Welcome, Lily," a soft, melodious voice said. She looked around and saw a tiny fairy fluttering beside her, her wings sparkling like diamonds. "I've been waiting for you," the fairy smiled warmly. "Who are you?" Lily asked, her eyes wide with wonder. "I'm Elowen, guardian of the Whispering Forest," the fairy replied. "Come, there's someone I want you to meet." They walked down a glowing hallway that seemed to stretch endlessly, yet they reached the end in just a few steps. At the end, they entered a grand room filled with books and scrolls, maps of enchanted lands, and paintings that moved as if alive. An old man with a long white beard sat at a desk, scribbling with a quill made from a phoenix feather. "Ah, Lily," he said without looking up. "We've been expecting you." "How do you know my name?" she asked, approaching him cautiously. "I know all who enter this forest," he chuckled softly, his eyes twinkling like stars. "I am the keeper of stories." He handed her a golden book encrusted with precious gems. "Inside this book are tales yet to be told, and they need your help to come alive." Lily opened the book, and words began to float off the pages, swirling around her like a gentle breeze. They formed images of distant lands, magical creatures, and adventures beyond her wildest dreams. "Wow," she whispered, reaching out to touch the floating words. Elowen fluttered beside her. "Would you like to visit one of these places?" she asked softly. Lily nodded eagerly, her heart pounding with excitement. "Then close your eyes and think of a place you'd like to see," the fairy instructed. She closed her eyes and imagined a land filled with candy-colored skies, crystal rivers, and mountains that touched the clouds. When she opened them, she found herself standing on a hillside, overlooking just such a place. "This is amazing!" she exclaimed, spinning around to take in the breathtaking view. They spent hours exploring the wondrous land. They rode on the backs of friendly dragons whose scales shimmered like rainbows. they conversed with talking animals who shared tales of wisdom and joy. They walked through fields of flowers that sang soft lullabies, and they tasted fruits that sparkled like jewels and burst with sweetness. As the sky began to darken, painted with hues of pink and purple, Iluin said softly, "It's time to go back." "But I don't want to leave," Lily protested gently. "You can always return," the fairy smiled reassuringly. "Just follow the shimmering path, and the forest will welcome you back." They returned to the oak tree, where the old man waved goodbye. "Remember, the magic is always with you," he said kindly. "It's in your heart and your imagination." Lily stepped back through the small door and found herself in the clearing once more. The stars twinkled above, brighter than she'd ever seen them. The night was calm, and the air was filled with the soothing sounds of the forest at rest. She made her way back home, the path lit by the glow of fireflies that seemed to guide her steps. When she reached her cozy cottage, she found her mother waiting by the door. "Where have you been, my dear?" her mother asked gently. "I was worried." "I found a magical forest," Lily replied, her eyes shining. Her mother smiled softly. "Sometimes the most magical places are found when we least expect them." She tucked Lily into bed, pulling the soft blankets up to her chin. "Tell me all about it in the morning," her mother whispered, kissing her forehead. As she drifted off to sleep, Lily heard the faint whisper of the forest. "Good night, Lily," the wind seemed to say. She smiled and whispered back, "Good night, and thank you." Her dreams that night were filled with swirling lights, friendly dragons, and the soft laughter of a tiny fairy. And even as she slept, she knew that the magic of the whispering forest would always be with her. As Lily lay in her bed, she suddenly remembered the golden book the keeper had given her. Reaching under her pillow, she was surprised to find it there, warm to the touch. She opened it once more, and a soft glow filled the room. A tiny note fluttered out and landed on her hand. It read, "The magic continues as long as you believe." The next morning, she awoke to the sound of birds singing a melody she'd never heard before. Eager to explore again, she dressed quickly and ran outside. To her delight, the shimmering path reappeared, inviting her back to the forest. This time, she found Eloin waiting at the entrance. "I knew you'd come back," the fairy smiled. "There's someone else who wishes to meet you." They journeyed deeper into the forest until they reached a sparkling pond. The water was so clear that it reflected the sky like a mirror. Sitting by the edge was a unicorn with a mane that flowed like liquid silver. "Hello, Lily," the unicorn spoke, its voice gentle and wise. "I am Celestia, keeper of dreams." "I didn't know unicorns could talk," Lily said in awe. "In this forest, all things are possible," Celestia replied. "I have a gift for you." She dipped her horn into the water, and a small, glowing orb floated towards Lily. "This is a dream crystal," Celestia explained. "Hold it close, and it will light your way, even in the darkest times." Lily accepted the crystal gratefully. "Thank you," she said, her heart filled with joy. As they made their way back, Eloin turned to Lily. "Remember to share the magic with others," she said. "Kindness and imagination are gifts that grow when given away." Lily nodded, understanding the wisdom in the fairy's words. From that day on, she often visited the Whispering Forest, each time discovering new wonders and making new friends. She shared her stories with the children in her village, filling their hearts with wonder and joy. And every night, as she fell asleep, she held the dream crystal close, knowing that the magic of the forest was always with her. Good night.